Once upon a time, in a small town in Italy, there lived a young woman named Sofia. Sofia was 20 years old. She had warm brown eyes and curly dark hair. Her family was not rich. They owned a tiny bakery on a narrow stone street. Every morning, Sofia woke up before sunrise. She helped her father bake bread. She helped her mother make cakes and sweet pastries. The bakery smelled like fresh bread, sugar, and coffee. Sofia loved her family very much. They were simple people, kind and honest. But Sofia had a dream. She wanted to become a great pastry chef in a big city like Rome. She wanted to learn new recipes and make her parents proud. One sunny afternoon, a young man walked into the bakery. His name was Marco. Marco was 23 years old. He was tall, with dark hair and bright green eyes. He wore clean clothes and a nice watch. You could see he came from a rich family. Marco's family owned a large vineyard outside the town. They made expensive wine and sold it to many countries. They lived in a big house on a hill, surrounded by grape fields. On that afternoon, Marco entered the bakery for the first time. He said, "Good afternoon. Can I have a coffee and something sweet?" Sofia smiled and replied, "Of course. Try this pastry. I made it this morning." Marco took a bite. His eyes opened wide. "This is amazing," he said. "It's the best pastry I have ever tasted." Sofia laughed softly. "Thank you. I like to experiment with new recipes." From that day, Marco came to the bakery every morning. He ordered coffee and one of Sofia's pastries. Then they talked. They talked about the town, about travel, about music and food. Sofia told Marco about her dream to study baking in the city. "I want to open a beautiful cafe one day," she said, "a place where people feel at home." Marco listened with interest. He shared his own dreams. "My parents want me to run the vineyard, but I love music. I want to write songs, maybe teach music one day. They don't understand." Slowly, day after day, Marco and Sofia became close friends. They walked through the old stone streets together. They sat near the fountain in the town square. Sometimes in the evenings, Marco brought his guitar and played soft songs for Sofia outside the bakery. Sofia felt something new growing in her heart. She tried to hide it, but she knew she was falling in love. One evening, as the sun was setting behind the hills, Marco and Sofia stood outside the bakery. The sky was pink and gold. The air smelled like fresh bread and grapes. "Sofia," Marco said quietly, "I have something to tell you." Her heart started beating fast. "Yes?" she asked. Marco looked into her eyes. "I think I am in love with you," he said. "You're kind, you're strong, and you make this town feel like home to me. Will you be with me?" Sofia felt tears in her eyes. She smiled. "Marco," she whispered, "I love you too. I have tried not to, but I cannot stop my heart." They hugged, and for a moment, the whole world felt perfect. But their happiness did not last without trouble. When Marco's parents heard about Sofia, they were not pleased. One night at dinner, Marco's father said, "Marco, we heard you spend a lot of time with the baker's daughter." Marco nodded. "Yes, her name is Sofia. I love her." His mother put down her fork. "Love?" she said. "Marco, listen to yourself. She's a nice girl maybe, but she's poor. Our family has a name, a reputation. You must marry someone from a rich family, someone who can bring more business and power." Marco answered calmly, "Money is not everything. Sofia works hard. She has a good heart. That is more important to me than money." His father grew angry. "You are our only son," he said. "You will take over the vineyard. You cannot throw away your future for a girl from a small bakery. If you stay with her, we will not support you. No money, no vineyard, nothing." Marco felt a heavy pain in his chest. He loved his parents, but he also loved Sofia. "I don't want your money if it means I must give up the person I love," he said. His parents were shocked. They walked away in anger. Meanwhile, people in the town began to talk. "Marco is rich," they whispered. "Sofia is just a baker's daughter. It will never work." Sofia heard the whispers. They hurt her heart. She began to feel small and ashamed. One night, Marco and Sofia met outside the bakery. Sofia looked sad. Her eyes were red. "What's wrong?" Marco asked softly. She took a deep breath. "Marco," she said, "I heard what your parents said. I heard the people talking. They say I'm not good enough for you. I do not want to be the reason you lose your family and your future." Marco shook his head. "I don't care what they say. I love you. We can build our own life." Tears fell down Sofia's cheeks. "I love you too," she said, "but love is not only about two hearts. It's also about families, about peace. Maybe it is better if we say goodbye now, before it becomes even more painful." Marco felt like the world was breaking. "No," he whispered, "I can't imagine my life without you." Sofia wiped her tears. "You're strong," she said. "You will go to the city. You will succeed. You will make music. I will stay here and help my parents." Her voice was shaking, but she forced a small smile. "One day, maybe you will remember me with a little smile, not with pain." They hugged tightly, and they cried in each other's arms. Then slowly they let go. In the following days, Marco's parents pushed him. "We have arranged music classes in the city," his mother said. "You can study music if you want, but you must forget about this girl." Marco left for the city. He started a new life there. He studied music and worked in small cafes playing his guitar at night. He sent a few letters to Sofia, but he did not know what to say. He wanted to tell her that he still loved her, that he thought of her every night, but he also knew she had asked him to let go. On the island of his heart, her bakery light was still on, but the door was closed. Back in the small town, Sofia threw herself into work. She helped her parents from morning till night. She created new recipes. She decorated the bakery with flowers and lights. Customers loved her cakes. Tourists took pictures of the little bakery. Some years, she won small local awards for her pastries. People in the town began to respect her more. They said, "She is not just the baker's daughter, she is an artist." Still, at night, after closing the door, Sofia sometimes sat alone at one of the small tables. She looked at the chair where Marco used to sit. She remembered his songs, his smile, his green eyes. A soft pain still lived in her heart, but she tried to be strong. Years passed. Marco became a music teacher in the city. He taught children to play guitar and piano. He wrote songs and sometimes performed at small concerts. He was not rich, but he was honest and free. He did not work in the vineyard. He had chosen his own path. His parents were disappointed at first, but slowly they began to respect his hard work. One winter, Marco returned to the town for a short visit. He did not tell anyone. He just wanted to walk through the old streets and remember. When he passed by the bakery, he stopped. The sign was new. The windows were bigger. Inside, he could see people laughing, drinking coffee, eating beautiful cakes. He pushed the door open. The bell above the door rang. Sofia turned from the counter. She froze. "Marco?" she said. "Hello, Sofia," he said softly. "It has been a long time." For a moment, they just stood there, looking at each other. They both looked older now, a little more serious, but the same light was still in their eyes. Sofia's heart was beating fast. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "I came to see the town," Marco said, "and I hoped maybe I would see you too." They sat at a table. Sofia brought him coffee and one of her best cakes. They talked for hours. Marco told her about his life in the city, about teaching music, about writing songs. Sofia told Marco about the bakery, about how they expanded, about the tourists who came from different countries. They laughed about old memories. They also felt old pain. Finally, Marco took a deep breath. "Sofia," he said, "I never stopped thinking about you. I tried to move on, but every song I wrote was about you. Every time I smelled fresh bread, I saw your face. Do you still feel anything for me?" Sofia looked down at her hands. She was quiet for a long moment. Then she spoke slowly. "Marco, when you left, I told myself I was doing the right thing. I wanted you to have a peaceful life with your family, but inside I was broken. I missed you every day." She looked up at him. "The truth is, I never stopped loving you either. I just learned to live with the pain." Marco's eyes filled with tears. "I have my own life now," he said. "I am not rich, but I can support myself. I don't need my parents' money or their permission anymore. If they can accept my choices, good. If they don't, I will still live my life. Sofia, I don't want to lose you again. I don't know what the future will bring, but I know one thing. I want you in it. Will you give us a second chance?" Sofia's heart was full of joy and fear at the same time. "Marco, we had so much pain before. What if it happens again?" Marco reached across the table and took her hand. This time, he said, "I'm not a confused boy. I am a man. I know what I want. I choose you. With all the difficulties, with all the challenges, we will face them together." Sofia felt tears rolling down her cheeks, but this time they were tears of hope.
"Yes," she said softly. "I want that too." From that day, Marco stayed in the town longer. He taught music to children in a small room above the bakery. In the evenings, he played his guitar while people drank coffee and ate Sofia's cakes. The bakery became a warm, happy place, full of music and sweet smells. Tourists loved it even more. They called it the Bakery of Love and Songs. At first, Marco's parents did not understand. "You left your job in the city," his father said. "You are staying in that small town again? With that girl?" Marco answered calmly. "She is not just that girl. She is the woman I love. I make my own money. I hurt no one. If you cannot accept her, then you do not accept me." His parents were silent. They saw the strength in his eyes. One weekend, they decided to visit the town just to see. They entered the bakery. They saw Marco playing music with laughing children. They saw Sofia serving customers with a warm smile. They saw pictures on the wall of the town, of the vineyard, of happy people. Sofia came to their table with 2 cups of coffee. "Good afternoon," she said politely. "Welcome to our bakery." Marco's mother looked at her for a long time. "You built all this?" she asked. Sofia nodded. "With my parents and with the people here," she said. "I love this place." Marco's father looked around again. He saw how happy his son was. He saw the light in his eyes when he looked at Sofia. Slowly, the hard wall around his heart began to break. "Maybe we were wrong," he said quietly. "Maybe money is not everything." A few months later, Sofia and Marco got married in a small church near the town square. It was a simple wedding. There were flowers, music, and the smell of fresh bread in the air. Sofia's parents cried with joy. Michael's parents were there too. They hugged their son. They hugged Sofia. They did not talk about money that day. They only talked about love. Years passed. Sofia and Marco had 2 children. During the day, the children ran between the bakery and the music room, covered in flour and humming songs. Sofia taught them to be kind, to work hard, to respect everyone, rich or poor. Marco taught them to follow their hearts, to listen to music, to never let fear decide their future. The bakery grew. The music school grew. But Sofia and Marco never forgot how everything started. With 1 cup of coffee, 1 pastry, and 2 hearts that refused to stop loving. They grew old together. Their hair turned white. Their steps became slow. But every evening, they sat outside the bakery, hand in hand, watching the sunset over the hills and vineyards. "I used to dream of a big city," Sofia said one day, smiling. "And I used to dream of running away from this town," Marco replied. They looked at each other. "In the end," Sofia said, "we found everything we needed right here." "Because we found each other," Marco added. They knew that life had not been easy. People had judged them. Families had fought. Hearts had broken. But they also knew that true love had survived it all. Their love had turned a small bakery into a home full of warmth, music, and hope. And so, in that little Italian town, Sofia and Marco lived the rest of their days with gratitude in their hearts, surrounded by family, friends, and the smell of fresh bread. They knew deep inside that true love, when it is patient and brave, never truly dies. It only grows stronger with time. The end. If you enjoyed the story, please like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next video.